What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Philip and Leroy the Judgmental Podcast.
What's up, everybody? This your boy Phil back in the house.
Well, before we start on this week's game, we got to talk about Christmas game. The Eagles won 33 to 25. What's your thoughts on that Christmas game against the Giants?
The Giants is a trash ass team. We should have easily won that game. It shouldn't even have been like a fucking close game. They shouldn't even been able to do shit against us.
Right. Except the Giants was able to run. They got it. They got a pick six, right?
Yeah.
They got a pick six, and they got a long pass for a touchdown towards the end of the game. That's what made the game close.
Right. So really,
And
our defense was holding up for the most part.
right. And before we get into this game, this week's game, now it was a big deal. What was the Eagles game on Monday night? Was it the Cowboys? Right? Yeah, it was the
Yeah.
Cowboys. And Christian McCaffrey was on a Man and Brothers show, and he predicted. You seen it online, right?
No, I know what you're talking about, though. I read about it.
Yeah, and everybody
He
made
said it
that.
was predicting every play that the Eagles would run before they ran it.
Right now, they made it seem like it's a big deal. People on social media, oh, he's so smart. No, it's the offense. The offense is easy to predict what they're going to do because they do it 6 or 7 times a game. Like I always say about
Same shit every week, and we talked about that.
right. Like I said about the wide receiver screen. Why keep doing that over and over again? You're not fooling anyone. You can see it coming. And there was one play where against the Giants where it was almost intercepted because the defensive back already read that it was a screen pass. Yeah, that's not hard because you keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's the offense is so stagnant, and I
Mm-hmm.
can't call it. It ain't the players, it's the coaching, how the coaching is ran.
Also don't like how McCaffrey and the 49ers was all on their high horse. They talked shit before, mostly Debo was talking the shit before our game, and then they came out and kicked our ass. They was talking shit after the game. Then McCaffrey was talking about he can read all our plays, which he probably could, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it's like, damn, why y'all couldn't read fucking Baltimore plays? Y'all talking shit to Baltimore and they kicked your ass.
Exactly. And first, like we said, the Eagles' offense is not that hard to predict. Number two is football. I mean, how many different plays can you actually really run?
There's a
But
lot of plays. If you got a smart offensive play caller that know what he's doing, there's a lot of shit you can open up in the playbook. Like we haven't seen the Eagles do a flea flicker and God knows when. I think what's the dude name? The one the Super Bowl and shit.
Doug
I think
Peterson?
Foles. I think
Oh,
Foles was
Foles,
probably the
okay.
last person that threw a flea flicker for our team. So there's a lot of plays out there that you can run that we just don't do.
No wide receiver screens. Um,
We
I
don't
mean
even
not
throw
wide
the
receiver screen. I'm sorry,
running
halfback
back.
screens.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we don't even
halfback
throw
screen.
the passes to the. We rarely line a running back up as a receiver or in the slot like some of the other teams do. You know what I mean? There's a
Right.
lot of shit that's out there that we just stay vanilla. We like it that way. I don't know.
Right. Well, I guess they saying if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't know.
It is
And
broke. We got all these good players on offense and can't put up points.
yep,
We should put 25 points up with our eyes closed every week. And here we go 2 weeks where the offense can't score.
yep. But I guess I bet you they'll say, like I say, I would love to know what's going on in these coaching meeting rooms.
The
What are they
problem
saying to
is
each other?
the problem is they don't really want to run the game, run the ball to the running back, because if you run him and he look good, you got to pay him. And they was just in that situation last year with Miles Sanders. They don't want to pay a running back, but it's hard to not pay a running back to put up big numbers, and you do it back to back years. So they didn't pay Miles. So now my man is having he would have had a better year than Miles had last year because his yards per carry is real good, but they
Yes,
don't give him the ball to put up those big numbers. Because if you put up those big numbers, now he got justification for why he deserved a bigger paycheck. So if you keep throwing in fucking Gainwell and all these other dudes to run the ball and only give him 2 carries in a whole half and shit like that, they're trying to win games. We're using him as less as possible, but they see that we need to use him to win those games.
Well, DeAndre Swift has 896 yards rushing, so he need 104 to get over 1,000. At this point right now, if the Eagles would have kept continue running the football, he would have had like 11 or 1,200 yards
It'll be leading the
already.
league. It'll be leading the
Right,
league.
right.
Because don't get me wrong, 49ers running back is good, but he only got 1,300. Most running backs that win MVP or in an MVP conversation, they got 17, 18 thousand yards rushing. I mean 1,800 yards rushing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So him with 13 is not saying a lot. Any other year, 13 wouldn't put you in the top. That would put you maybe in the top 10, back there at 9 or 8 somewhere, but not in the number one running back, and you only got 13.
Hmm. And they're saying inside the Eagles with a I.com say that Gainwell, the reason why they use Gainwell a lot is number one, he's the bruiser back, and number two, he's good on the pass rush. So that
Now, the thing is, he might be good with the pass rush, but when he's in the game, most of the time they give him the carries. And I haven't seen him truck nobody. I seen him break some tackles here, but I also seen Swift break tackles and make people miss.
right. Hmm. So I don't understand what type of pass protection is Gainwell doing so good. I haven't seen him like help out with pass protection.
That's bullshit. Just trying to make it sound good. That's bullshit. I haven't
Right.
seen Swift get blown up like he missing blocks and shit like that.
Oh, and they also use him in the red zone. Gainwell, I'm talking about.
Yeah, because Swift can't get a whole bunch of touchdowns now because you got to pay that dude if he's put up big numbers.
Right.
That's why every time we get to the red zone, is either Gainwell or is the quarterback. One of them running it in.
Right. Next
My man
season.
Swift will get you all the way down there, and then you won't even give him no carries.
Right. So next season is going to be Gainwell, Boston Scott. Boston Scott will be DeAndre Swift. Gainwell would just do Gainwell stuff, and
Yep,
they'll
right.
draft a running back. So that's three running backs that you're not paying big money to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all that's about.
Yep. It's like they phasing a running back across the NFL mostly, and the teams that's winning still using a running back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now,
Because look at Kansas City. Kansas City was kicking ass the last 3 years. Now all of a sudden they don't use the running back. The quarterback can't do shit. I mean, he let his receivers go, but still, he's supposed to be one of them game changing quarterbacks where he can throw to anybody. I mean, of course they got to catch the ball, but uh, Edwards Hilaire, he was putting up big numbers, and then they just phased him out.
hmm
Was it the Titans? Same with him. He's putting up big numbers. They try to phase him out, but when they give him those carries, they put up numbers.
yeah, I just don't. Well, like we talked about at your house, that I think they're just doing that just so they can lose and get a
And
better
then
draft pick.
like you said, Cook had about 1,500 yards, 1,300 yards last year rushing, and now he can't even get a carry for a bum ass team.
Exactly. And you would think, and their quarterback is
Yep,
their
yep,
quarterback is hurt. You would think that they'd be running the football up and down the
yep.
field, but
They
nope.
got two good running backs, and you're not even using them.
Now I want to know, does Dalvin Cook even care, or he just like, well, look, I'm frustrated, or he
Ain't that?
just like, well, look, I'm getting
I'm
paid,
pretty
so
sure. I'm pretty sure he's frustrated a little bit, but what can he do? Ain't nothing really you can do about it. You
go
can
to the
bitch and
press.
complain about it and be looking for another job. Yeah.
I would go to the press and say something. It's ridiculous, and ain't a knock on the Jets. It's just a knock on the NFL period, trying to phase out these guys because they don't want to pay them. That's
Well,
what that's
because
what that's all about.
they want the NFL to be high scoring, throw the ball all day long, but that's not what it's about. It's about a combination of running the ball and passing the ball. So they want these quarterbacks to have inflated numbers, 300, 400 yards passing, 5 touchdowns a game, and the receivers getting all these 100 yards and all this. But they're forgetting about the reason why they can do stuff like that is because the run open up the pass. So
Right.
when you don't have that run, the defense is just going to lock in and play pass coverage, and then you're not going to put up those big numbers. So then you're going to see superstar quarterbacks and wonder why they're stinking up the joint.
Hmm.
Now here, my man Russell Wilson just got benched, but his numbers is the same as Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, and
So
plus they
you know what
was
that about.
no, I don't. Won't tell us.
Yeah, they don't want to pay him. So here, my man got a guaranteed contract for 1 year, but he also had that clause that if he get hurt, you got to pay him that 37 million or whatever. So
Right.
they said, well, you know what? We're gonna sit you down. Ain't like he hobbling to somewhere. There's a reason to sit him down, and y'all still
Mhm.
in the playoff hunt. We're gonna
Yep.
sit you down for some bum ass that been on 3 other teams that couldn't do shit. We're gonna let him play. Maybe their reason is to spark the offense. You're right. Russell Wilson got, I think, 27 touchdowns and 6 interceptions or 8 interceptions. Those are good numbers. They're not winning, but his numbers are not bad. And if his numbers is almost the same as Pat Mahomes, you don't hear them talking about benching him to get the offensive spark. It's bullshit.
Yeah, that's ridiculous for them to bench him, especially with at towards the end of the season. And then, like you say, it's not like they it's all over with. They only won 3 games this year and all that stuff. But they have a chance to go to the playoffs, and you're gonna sit down your bed.
You got a damn Super Bowl winning quarterback that's not over the hill, that's putting up solid numbers, and you're gonna bench him in the last 2 games just to say you want to spark the offense when you're in a playoff hunt. They about to probably get their ass beat these last 2 games. They ain't worried about that. They don't want to pay him.
Like you said, 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 3,070 yards passing. His rating is 98.
That's good.
Right.
That's a good rating.
But yet you have a chance to these 7 and 8, right? So you have a chance to be 9 and 8, but yet you
right. And what's Pat Mahomes' numbers?
Let's see. He's 26 yards, 26 touchdowns. I'm sorry, 14 interceptions. He's doing a lot of interceptions this year. 3,938 yards passing, and his quarterback rating is 91.7.
So shit, he better than Pat Mahomes. Same amount of touchdowns and a lot less interceptions and a higher rating.
Right. Yeah, he's the 14 is a lot of damn interceptions.
I don't mind 14 interceptions if you're throwing 40 touchdowns. You know what I mean? But if you got 30 touchdowns and you know what I mean, 14, 15 interceptions, they ain't saying nothing. You got to get 40 touchdowns. You're going through that many interceptions.
His last 5 games, he has 7 touchdowns and 5 interceptions.
Who's that?
Pat Mahomes.
Okay. And Russ was playing good his last couple of games when coming to interceptions and stuff and touchdowns.
Last 5 games, he was 7 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
Okay.
Now, what's the controversy with A.J. Brown?
A.J. Brown saying they need to do away with Monday Night Football. And a lot of people jumped on him about that. Like, you're making excuses because y'all stunk up the joint on Monday Night Football. That's the whole thing it was about. I didn't get all in the details about it, but that's what it was about. He said the NFL needs to do away with Monday Night Football. And NFL and people, fans always talking shit in media. They love it, so they don't want to do away with it. I agree. I said I hate Monday Night Football. Like, damn, why every day got to be a football day? I like when football, Monday night is cool, but I like Sunday football. And I like Sunday night football. I don't need no Monday night game. I don't need no Thursday night game. I don't need no Saturday night game. I don't need all that.
The Saturday is the killer because you be like, well, damn, such and such playing today.
Nobody know about it. When you have those because there was games playing and I didn't even know. I think it was Dallas when Dallas played
Detroit.
And then I said, "Oh shit!"
That's about yesterday, right?
Was it yesterday?
Yeah, Dallas and Detroit. Yeah.
I was like, "Oh shit!" My receiver getting off and shit. But you don't need that shit. And the same with the London game. They cool and all, but the timing is fucked up. So it's 9-10 o'clock in the morning when they playing.
Yes.
People are still asleep on Saturday. Sleeping in and shit like that. They don't know the game on. And half the time, if you don't got Amazon Prime or all these other joints like that, you can't even catch it anyway. Of course, we can catch it, but I'm talking about the regular people.
Right. Yeah. So
I was talking to my doctor. One of the doctors, he's a big sports fan. I was talking to him. He's like, "How you get to see all these games? How did you get to see that game? I couldn't find it nowhere."
You don't want to put him down because you think he's gonna say.
So I told him, but he's a little, scaredy pants or whatever. All right,
okay. Well, let's get into this week's game. This is the last home game at Lincoln Financial Field for the Philadelphia Eagles going against the Arizona Cardinals. The Eagles are a 13-point favorite and the over-under is 48.5. That 13-point favorite, I don't see it. But you think so?
Because I think Arizona was trying to lose on purpose. I think this will be what's the name last year, that Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I can see that. I
So
can
now
see
they
it.
if they content with just being Kyler Murray's last year, they're probably going to try to get one of these quarterbacks coming out in the draft. So they'll probably tank the last 2 games of the season. Even if they don't tank, they're not that good anyways.
Well, I talked about that before. About I wouldn't assign Kyler Murray to that big contract like that. Not because of the Call of Duty thing. It's because he's inconsistent sometimes. Sometimes he's on and sometimes he's not.
Well,
That's my problem.
that's mostly young quarterbacks are like that though. But you got to see improvement year after year, and he's never improved his game. It's always been the same. He got a strong arm, but he's a little dude, and his first instinct is to run.
Right.
He's almost like a Justin Fields. But Justin Fields, this is like his first or second year, so you can deal with the first or second year. But then after a while, you've been in the league, your game got to advance. And if you're still doing the same shit you was doing a rookie, then you're not really built for this.
Right. Well, he got 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and his quarterback rating is 81.9. His completing percentage is 62.3%. Now, is it because of the lack of receivers or that's
No,
just
that's
he?
him. That's him.
Okay. So you think that the Eagles want to win by 13 points? Over
Yeah,
13 points.
yeah, yeah.
What about the over under at 48.5?
Uh, what you say it was 40 what?
48.5.
48.5. I'm gonna go with the over. Yeah.
Okay. Now, the big news is on the Eagles side is Avante Maddox is activated off the injury reserve, but is he playing today?
They might give him a little bit of play time like that. You know how they work somebody into the offense. I mean, defense like that.
Right.
I would
Well,
throw him right out there to the wolves. See what you got. You ready to go?
look, they need
Can't
him.
be no worse than who you playing.
Right. At secondary, they need him. They
Hmm.
definitely need him. And
That's why.
go ahead.
That's why I didn't understand when we signed that linebacker why he didn't get a lot of snaps. Yeah, he new here to the defense, but he's a Pro Bowl linebacker, so he need to play. And you ain't got no linebackers. He need to be out there. If he stink up the joint, let him get that rust off in game speed. You know what I
Why
mean?
they don't have him blitzing the quarterback? That's my problem right there
All right.
with him.
It's the same way when we dropped what's the name back in the coverage. What's the other dude that got all the sacks?
Hassan Reddick.
Yeah. When we first got Hassan Reddick, he was sitting there covering fucking running backs and fucking tight ends. And when they saw that wasn't working, like he didn't come here for that shit. He came here for what he do best, go after the quarterback.
Hmm. Speaking of blitzing, I want one of the press people to ask Nick Sirianni why is the lack of blitzing? Is it a reason why the lack of blitzing? Now you have bad secondary slash linebackers has been injured this season. Okay, now the first thing you would want to do is blitz the quarterback because you don't want him standing in the pocket throwing the football down the field like all these quarterbacks has been doing. So
Right.
why the lack of blitzing the quarterback?
I don't
I'm
know. I mean,
confused.
I think Sirianni's a happy-go-lucky type of coach anyway. He lucked up and got a talented team, and they was rolling. So he ain't really had to do much. Now he lost his coordinators, so now it's on him to show what he can do. And it's like we stinking up the joint, and it's like, well, blame me, don't blame the coordinators. Yeah, we're gonna blame you, but they're your scapegoat because you got an offensive coordinator that's playing calling plays and not you supposedly. So it's easy to say he's fucking up and not you because you letting him call the plays. Is he really calling the plays, or you just allowing somebody to? You can be the head coach, but if you got a running back that's doing real good, he only got 2 carries at the half. You supposed to be like, yo, what the fuck is going on? You supposed to step in and say something. You
Okay.
see another, or you don't see the blitz or coming on a regular. You supposed to go to your defensive coordinator and say, yo, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? Or you see them pass up and down the field on your defense. Yo, what the fuck? But for you to sit back and just let us fucking get our ass kicked like that, and it's just that's what I'm saying. I don't think he's probably over his head and don't know what he's doing. But everybody give him props. Well, hey, been here 3 years and we've been winning since. He had veteran fucking coordinators too.
Okay. Now you said that the offense coordinator is calling the offensive plays, right?
That's what they said. Yeah.
Okay. So well, we already know that the defense coordinator is the one that's calling the plays. So the question is, what Nick Sirianni is doing during the game? About the
Just,
okay now, what coaches in the league is not calling the plays? That don't sound right.
I think most of them is calling the plays. I think that's a bullshit excuse why you can't blame our coach because he can say easily, well, I can fire my offensive coordinator because they don't know what he's doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Oh
that's
well,
bullshit. Most head coaches, that's the whole part of being a head coach. You calling your own plays. And they're
well.
saying when he got the job, he was calling the plays and the offense was stinking up the joint. So then he passed the plays off to whoever the old offensive coordinator was, and then the offense got a little spark and shit, so that stayed that way. Sound
Okay.
like bullshit to me.
All right. So next season, well, in the off season, Howie's gonna have to clean this up. Um, fire all the coaching staff. Keep Nick Sirianni, but he's in the hot seat. And
Well, it all
hire some.
depends. It all depends on how this playoffs play out.
Okay.
'Cause if we go to Super Bowl again, it's gonna be hard to fire your head coach.
No. I'm not going to fire him. I'm saying he's on the hot seat in the off season and fire the other coaching staff, fire all the coordinators.
It all depends. Like I said, it all depends on how the playoffs go. It's hard because what if we go to playoffs and then shit start clicking? I doubt that happened,
That's
but
what
who
I'm about to
knows?
ask you.
I doubt it, but you never know. And let's just say it do start clicking. Shit, ain't nobody know Nick Foles was going to fucking take this offense to the Super Bowl and win that shit.
Right.
So anything's possible. But yeah, like if this team right now, and I'm a realist and I'm a Eagles fan, I see us making it to the second round and getting knocked off in the second round because we haven't been able to stop anybody this year. And in the playoffs, you got to be able to stop somebody. You got to
Right.
be able to run the ball in the playoffs. We can't do neither one. We can't stop nobody and we can't run the ball. Well, we can, but we shooting our own selves in the foot, not trying. And then we go down so much where it's not practical to run. Then you got to pass to try to catch up.
Right. So, what's the things you want to see the Eagles do in this game against the Cardinals?
Fuck the quarterback up.
Mm-hmm.
Run the ball, like we always say. Get more passes to Goddard. Like he's back now, so use him. You don't always got to throw the ball to just those two receivers. And the third receiver, we don't even need to worry about who the third receivers are. I would have liked to see what's the name get more playing time, but you pick him up and then you don't even use him. Julio.
Julio. Okay.
Yeah. Like shit, when our tight end went down, he's a big dude. Why you ain't just let him play the tight end position?
Right. That ain't nothing but a tight end. Ain't nothing but a big wide receiver now. Anyway, do
Exactly.
these
A
guys
big
even do blocking and all that stuff like they used to do back
I'm
in the
pretty
day?
sure I'm pretty sure some tight ends around the league that do that. But for the most part, the tight ends are big receivers. Like you said, they stay short. They don't really go deep like that.
Right.
So
Yeah.
just move Julio over and keep it rolling.
That's another thing I would want to press that ask Nick Sirianni. What is up for not using Julio Jones and Rashad Penny, and you brought these guys in and you're not using them? I'm confused.
Mm-hmm.
I'm confused. So Julio just sitting there, just dressed up just to sit there.
Getting a free paycheck. Yep.
Right. So what's your score of this Eagles game? Your score prediction?
35-14.
Okay, I got 27-21. Mm-hmm. So, all right, y'all, we'll be back. Did you want to add anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, well, we'll be back. We'll probably have a guest on. The guest ain't get with me, but I'm gonna send him another email, see if he come on with us. So we'll be back at halftime.
All right.
All right, we back. It's halftime. The Eagles is winning 21-6. Some quick stats. On the Cardinal side, Kyler Murray is 12 for 17, 99 yards, one interception. Rushing, we got James Conner, 14 carries, 72 yards, 5.1 yards per carry. Receiving side, we got McBride, 4 receptions for 36 yards. And Higgins has 2 receptions for 21 yards. On the Eagles side, we got Jalen Hurts, 11 for 13, 114 yards, 2 touchdowns. Rushing, we have Swift, 5 carries, 16 yards. Receiving, I'm sorry. We got A.J. Brown, 3 receptions, 35 yards. Julio Jones, who we just talked about how the Eagles wasn't using, got 2 receptions, 34 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Dallas Goedert, 3 receptions for 32, and Devontae Smith, 3 for 30. And shout out to our who has a touchdown here? Or I think he's a cornerback. Let me see where I'm at. He's all the way down on the list with Brown. with one
Sidney
interception and
Brown.
one touchdown. Yeah. So how do you like the game going so far?
Like the announcer said, we really didn't stop them. It's like they're shooting themselves in the foot. I mean, they're running all over us. They got the time of possession. We really can't get to the quarterback. We can't stop the run. I guess you can't really say we stop in the receivers either, because every time they get a third down, they convert most of the time. I
Hmm.
didn't know Kyler Murray had the highest completion percentage on third down. That's okay. That's a positive for him.
Right.
But
Uh,
their running back, they said their running back had like the second most, I think, 20-yard runs. So
yeah.
how you ain't leading the league? That tell you right there they're not using them.
Well, he was my running back in fantasy football. He was hurt, so he didn't really play the whole season. He missed
Mm-hmm.
about 2 or 3 games. I'm gonna say 3. So the thing about it is he missed games, but he almost got the same rushing yards as the as Swift.
That's because they're using him also though. Like he got 14 carries in the half. When has Swift ever had 14 carries at a half?
Right. Because Gamewell 5 carry. Well, we got to give him a pass this game because time of possession is let me see if I can find it. Time of possession, the Cardinals has 21 minutes and 48 seconds. The Eagles have 8 minutes and 12 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So they better hurry. They better shape up and stop them third downs because this time of possession is going to kill them.
Yeah, our defense is gonna get even more tired
Yep.
with these long ass dragouts and keeping the ball in their possession.
Yep. And they'll score. And the game will be close. They'll score and take the lead, and they'll be able to hold on to the ball because they can run effectively. So,
And our offensive play calling is still ass. It's like they don't know how to mix it up. Either they try all runs and then we punting, or they try all passes and we punting. Like, where's the mix up?
right. Hmm. So, what you want to see in this second half?
We need to send the dogs after Murray. We got a nice little lead where they got to start depending on the pass. So if they got to depend on the pass, that's when he's going to sit in the pocket a little bit longer. You got to hit him, and then the tackling. My God, like we be having some good tackles for loss of yards, and them guys are fucking slip right out their hands and shit, miss tackle.
Yep. Yep. So, I totally agree. We'll be back at the second half. Our guest is sitting there commentating on stuff. Let me see if he answered me.
You should have brought him in for the halftime
Uh,
breakdown.
yeah, he coming on. He just sent me a tweet. He coming on. So we'll have our guests on at the post game. We'll be back. Oh, well, yeah, that'd have been cool too if he'd have been talking about the especially
Mm-hmm.
with this time of possession. I didn't even think about that. Especially with this time of possession that this damn Cardinals was having.
You ain't lying. Shay said, "Why they always got the ball?"
All right then.
All right.
All right, it's the end of the game. The Eagles lost 35-31. Some stats on the Cardinal side: we have Kyler Murray, 25 for 31, 232 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Rushing, we have James Conner, 26 carries, 128 yards, 1 touchdown, and we have Carter, 7 carries for 61 yards. Hey, it was all a field day running against the Eagles. Receiving, we have Dorchich, 7 receptions, 82 yards. McBride, 6 receptions, 48 yards. Wilson, 4 receptions, 35 yards. No, 4 receptions, 35 yards, 1 touchdown. I'm sorry. On the Eagle side, we got Jalen Hurts, 18 for 23, 167 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. DeAndre Swift, 13 carries, 61 yards. Receiving, we have A.J. Brown, 4 receptions, 53 yards. Goddard, 5 receptions, 47 yards, 1 touchdown. And Julio Jones, 2 receptions, 34 yards, and 2 touchdowns. This is some shitty football. And it goes back to what I said. I don't care what they do in the playoffs. Something got to change. And
You can't say you don't care what they do in the playoffs. Because what if they win a championship? You still firing everybody?
playing like this, you think they're
I'm
going to win
saying
the
no. I'm
championship?
saying you just said it don't matter what they do. So
Hmm.
that's why I said if it don't matter what they do when they win a championship, are you still firing everybody?
Yep.
It's not
I,
what no matter
I
what
will
they do,
fire. Well,
depending on what they do.
hopefully the coordinators get head coaching jobs if they win the championship. Okay, so that's good for me to let them leave. But other than that, something got to change here. This is some shitty football, and no blitzing. Then when you want to blitz, you want a goal line. Obviously, he's going to throw the football. So won't you play some pass coverage?
Yeah, that was shitty. And what happened to the referees taking a look at touchdowns inside the 2 minute? They just let them run right up there and kick a field goal. Nobody even looked at it. Nothing. Then when they showed the replay, it looked like his knee and his elbow hit.
Right, and then the commentators act like it was like a close call.
Uh-huh. Well, they don't like to say anything negative about what the refs saying or saw. You know what I mean? That's just like the it was another call that was they called, what was it, pass interference? They said, "Oh, I don't see what the ref that was a good no call or something," he said, and it wasn't. It was a pass interference.
Yeah, that was you talking about at the towards the end of the game, right?
Not the one that he just did a no call with Goddard. It was one before
Okay.
that.
All right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's just
Yeah.
a shitty game because when they did the onside kick, why do we just take our foot off the pedal? Why do we have two quarterbacks runs on those? You got running backs. This team just gave up over 200 yards. They can't stop the run, but we still refuse to run the ball. I just don't get it.
Well, how about when before Elliott made the field goal, that drive there. So they got a it was a
That's what I'm
holding
talking about.
call.
That drive.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, you forgot about the screen pass first. The screen pass and then the two runs that made it third down. And that's when they kicked
Mm-hmm.
the field goal. Yeah, come on now. That's what I'm saying. Now I was talking to James, and he's talking about some. No, it's because the Eagles last year they had an easy schedule. You know they pull that shit. Oh, they had the third easiest schedule, whatever type of ranking it on the easiest schedule it was. And compared to this year, look who they lost to. They lost a team. They not losing the teams that have good records. They beat. Seahawks is like what 8-7.
Mm-hmm.
So we got the Seahawks. We got
The Jets,
the Jet. No,
garbage.
no, no, no. We talking about the teams with winning records:
No
Cowboys
winning
and the
records.
49ers. So that's three. So I don't know what the Seahawks doing today, but they're like on the line for the playoffs. They like the last spot on a
Yeah, they
playoff.
fight for a spot.
Right. Okay. So do you want to put them okay, let's just say they make it to the playoffs. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's three playoff teams that's three playoff teams they lost to compared to Cardinals and the Jets. So it's not an excuse on what the schedule is.
No, it's our coaching. It comes down to the coaching and the coordinators.
Right. And I'm trying to tell him like you see this play calling? How in the world are you going to talk about the personnel? It's the
Once
play
they
call.
once they did that onside kick, that should have been a nail in the coffin for them. We should have made them move that ball down the field like ease, but they want to do quarterbacks runs. Like what kind of shit is that? If you're going to run it, give it to the running back.
Right.
So it was just fucked up.
All right, we have a guest. This is the our fourth time on the show.
Fourth
Ari-
time. Yeah.
yeah, Arizona Cardinals fan, Mr. Ryan Gutierrez. How you doing today?
I'm stunned, to put it lightly. Stunned, but it's nice to hear you guys again, be with you guys again. So I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, good to hear from you too. So, okay, now tell us about your thoughts on this game.
I would the ultimate Jonathan Gannon revenge game that was kind of talked about all week over here, but no one really gave two thoughts about going to Philadelphia and shocking the world and beating the Eagles, I guess, outside of that locker room. But yeah, I mean, just stunned.
Is it really a shocker though? I mean, we've been playing like shit the last 5 weeks.
When you got a 4-11 or 3-12 team go into a
Yeah, we
SC
talking about
East.
we lost 3 in a row, came back, got one, and then lost again. So shit, we lost what 4 out of the last 5, some shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, they are struggling bad. And then you seeing it towards the end, kind of like what you guys were talking about with the whole play calling and the coordinators, seeing that whole sequence of guys shuffling in and out, the confusion on the sidelines. I mean, that was
Yes,
stunning this late in the season.
exactly. So, here's for a question for a person that's on the outside looking in. What you think about the Eagles?
They peaked too soon.
Mm-hmm.
They peaked way too early. And now that they're trying to figure all this out in the fly towards the end, and now you're going to have to go on a road game in the wild card weekend. They look like they're pretty cooked on this back half of the season. I mean, it's just seeing their free fall. I mean, from where they started to where they're at now, it's surprising.
Yep. Well,
Like I said
go ahead.
before, they're trying their hardest not to give Swift the ball. We playing a team that can't stop the run. He only get 13 carries. He probably only had 4 or 5 in the first half, and then another 6 in the second half. So they're trying their hardest not to give him the ball, but they didn't give the game well. He only got 2 carries. So you got a team that gave up 200 yards rushing a week ago, and you don't even try to run on them like that? That's crazy.
Yep.
Which was surprising too, because that one, I don't know, it was the last touchdown that they scored. I mean, Swift ran right through Arizona's defense.
Yes,
and
he did.
Even like the broadcast, Moose and Joe Davis said, where has this been all game? I mean, Arizona can't stop it. We're playing with backups on the defensive line. I'm maybe third stringers. And it's like, why are you guys not using that to your advantage?
We say the same shit every week, though.
I'm sorry, but it almost seems like the Eagles is trying to lose on purpose. I don't know, but this stuff is strange to me. Like you just mentioned about the running and a team that you can run on, you will automatically just run the football.
Well, before the game started, we said the same thing, not losing on purpose, but they're trying to win without making Swift shine. Because the Swift shine, he needs a new contract, and they don't want to pay him. So they want to win and use him as less as possible. But when they use him, he looks good. You know what I mean? He's like third or fourth in rushing. He don't even get that many carries.
So there's 13 carries, 61 yards, and he averaged 4.7 yards a carry. So he almost had 5 yards a carry. I guess you can say he averaged 5 yards a carry. So you can't. There's no excuse for them not running the football more. So he didn't stink up the joint.
And it's not. And if you're not giving them the carries, you're not even giving Gainwell the carries because he only got 2 touches.
Yep. Yeah, this
just don't make sense.
It just looks like the Eagles are kind of coasting to the finish and trying to keep guys fresh. That's what it just kind of reminds me of. But now, I mean, their season's kind of tail spinning out of control. But
and I don't buy that either, because if I was trying to keep everyone fresh, I wouldn't have Jalen Hurts doing those run plays when he's injured.
Right? Yeah, that was weird, odd play calling towards the end of the game in that final drive.
And now we have Devontae. He left the game early, so we don't know his extent of his injury.
I think it's his foot.
Okay.
But I don't know what's up with his foot or ankle. I saw the guy rubbing something down there.
Now
there's really no excuse. I mean, you're week 17 of the season, and you just demoted your defensive coordinator like a week or two ago. You're having issues on the offensive side. I mean, these coordinators have been going through the motions all season long now. There's really no excuse for what's happening.
Yeah.
Well, it's too late in the season to demote your defensive coordinator, and then the guy that you promote has been stinking up since he's been a coordinator and a coach.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I had said to Philip that regardless what they do in the playoffs, that they need to fire the whole coordinator staff. Now, what are your thoughts on that one?
Hold on, put some context to it, because I said if they win the championship, it's hard to fire people. So it's not whatever, regardless of what they do. It's dependent on what they do.
Is if they get to the NFC title game, then are you starting over with both coordinators, or if you're one and done, are you popping both of them and you're restarting?
One and done, I'm restarting. NFC Championship, I might keep them. I might not. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't fire both of them if we made it to the NFC Championship. One of them would stay, definitely.
I guess it depends on the route you guys go down. I mean, I could still see the Eagles beating Dallas. I mean, the Cardinals beat Dallas.
So Dallas in the same boat as us. They stinking up the joint.
Depending on the route you go, San Francisco kind of seems like a juggernaut right now. But if you guys have to go through Dallas in the divisional round, I mean, there is no excuse not to go into Jerry Jones's universe and going and knocking off the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
All right, Philip. Next week, the Eagles play the Giants. It's still to be determined, but I was assuming the reason why it's a flex game because they thought the Eagles was going to do well this season. So it'll probably be a 1:00 game on Sunday. What is your thoughts on this game?
I mean, we had our own destiny in our hand. All we had to do was stay with the 49ers. And the 49ers got a hard one next week. We still got an easy one. So all we had to do was win out, and we'd have been cool. And you know what I mean? So I don't know. It's just fucked up. I mean, the Giants is trash, but shit, so is Arizona. So you see what happened today.
Now the
Yeah.
Giants just lost up on a missed field goal to the LA Rams. So they
Yeah,
hung
I got
right
it
there till
I
the
got it in the
end.
background.
Yep. And for you, Mr. Ryan, the Cardinals is a home game against the Seahawks. That's also a to be determined game. That's also a flex game. So, what are your thoughts on? Do you think they're going to take this win and they're just going to be super extra next week?
I mean, at this point, you kind of have to. You took yourself out of the Marvin Harrison Jr. sweepstakes, I'm assuming, with that win, because we probably dropped from 2 to 4. And I mean, here, the Arizona fans hate the Seattle Seahawks and hate Pete Carroll, hate the Seahawks fans, still don't like Russell Wilson, can't stand DK Metcalf. So yeah, if you can go get Seattle next week, why not? Go get 5 wins in a season where you were really at the beginning back in August, September, you were questioning if they even had a win on the schedule. And now you could get 5 and gain its first season. So yeah, you go start, just build the culture now. And then go into the draft and go draft another offensive lineman or whoever falls to you or whatnot. And just keep building the culture after this week.
Now, what was you going to say, Phil?
No, I was just saying, the Cardinals, they surprised me because if they play like they played this week, next week, carry that same mindset and then play like that with the calling, they might be all right. Because I didn't think Kyler Murray was gonna play that good. Like,
Neither
and he
did
was
we.
accurate today. He just had that one bad miscommunication interception, but his pass has been sharp and on the money all game.
Yeah.
And they're blocking good for Connor because Connor ain't never played this good before in his career.
I mean, just the running, the over 200 yards rushing. I mean, collectively, it was just crazy. Like on the Eagles defense, that was so great last year, and with the defensive line that they have, it's just unreal.
The only thing we did change, we let our 2 starting linebackers go and our starting running back. You would think that wouldn't make a big difference the way it made.
Right. Well, and it was one of those Kaiser White that you guys let go.
Yeah, well, no, he wasn't a starter though.
Oh,
It was
okay.
the other, but we let him go too. But he
Because
was
yeah,
getting a lot of click too.
he came here. Gannon made him a captain, and he was sensational up until he got hurt in the middle of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was great.
Okay, Ryan, what you think about Kyler Murray in the offseason? Are you going to get rid of him or keep him or what?
I that was the best Kyler Murray's played since the middle of 2021 when we started out 7-0. I mean, Kyler was sensational. And that was kind of the performance I think that was needed for Kyler with these fans to show, hey, I am capable of being a franchise quarterback, especially given the money that the organization gave him in the past. I am comfortable with going with Kyler. I am not sold on Caleb Williams or Drake May, or really any of these quarterbacks that are coming out in the draft.
Okay, Caleb is a UFC, right?
Yeah, Caleb, former Heisman winner, but I mean, man, they regressed big time this year.
Okay, now what college is Jake's from? I don't really know that much about college football.
Drake May is the quarterback from North Carolina, and he was ACC quarterback, was the big talk all summer long about being a Heisman Trophy hopeful and leading North Carolina to places they've kind of never been before. And in the ACC, North Carolina went 7-5. I mean, did he have his moments? Yes. Was he that top tier, top 2 quarterback drafted in the NFL draft? I don't think so. I'm not a scout, but just seeing it from the naked eye, it's like I would have thought this kid would have elevated that program to different heights the way he was projected to.
Okay. So
see, if I was Arizona, I would keep Kyler Murray. But if I could get one of the top quarterbacks, I would get them because sooner or later it's going to be time to start filling in finding his replacement.
Well, Kyler's only 26 or 27. Kyler's still young. And
yeah, but he's been here for a while now. He should know the offense. He should improve by now. And the same shit we saw about before the game started.
In theory, yes, I agree with you 100%. Where the difference is a little bit is that this is a whole new system for him, coming from the one he ran at Oklahoma and the one he ran with Kingsbury for 4 years. Then he blows out his ACL and his meniscus, and he misses a year. So this is all kind of new for him, and that's kind of the human element of the game, is learning an entirely new offensive system, This was the first time it has definitely clicked. That second half, I don't know if he got his ass chewed out at halftime, but this was a whole different Kyler Murray in the second half today.
And that's why I would stick with him, but I still would draft his replacement if I can, one of the top guys. And then because when you start dealing with like ACL injuries and shit like that, a lot of times them guys don't come back the same.
Right.
So I'll see what he can do next year, give him the whole next year to see what he can do. And then if he don't play up to par, then it's time to move on.
I agree with you to an extent. Our problem is here, and I don't know what happened today with the offensive game plan, and especially that second half that I keep referring to. We have no weapons offensively outside of James Conner running the ball, and Trey McBride is a developing tight
I was about to say the tight end. The tight end is good.
He's in his second year. Yeah, he has elevated his game to a special spot this year, but that's really it offensively. I can't believe Greg Dortch had 7 receptions today. I mean, our offense has been non-existent from that angle. So we need to get Kyler some weapons. And that was the whole hope or fantasy here was Marvin Harrison Jr. give Kyler that legitimate number 1 threat. But now with the win and going to 4th in the draft, you got to reshuffle the dice a little bit and reconfigure that plan, which is fine. Because now you're just building culture at this point.
That's funny. They all these years best games all against the Eagles.
It's always like that. These guys, man. The one guy for Arizona, they said he had to catch all month.
That's really how it is with our offense. Yeah, our offense has been terrible. We just have no targets. But Michael Wilson, I think that's who you're talking about. Is Michael Wilson. Michael Wilson's rookie out of Stanford, 3rd round pick, has injuries here and there, missed a couple games, came back. I think the last 3 weeks hasn't had a reception. And then he catches a touchdown, 2-point conversion, has a couple other catches. So I can see where your guys' frustration's coming from.
Oh, goodness.
I guess my question for you,
this is supposed to be an easy win, and it didn't happen.
That was the feeling. I guess my question for you guys being in Philadelphia, what hurts more, losing to the Cardinals like this or losing to the Diamondbacks in games 6 and 7?
The Cardinals.
The Diamondbacks.
Oh, you think it's the Diamondbacks? Why? Because it was the series?
Yes.
Okay.
Right now we're in a funk, and we've been in a funk, so it is not that far off to believe we could lose this game. Because even the games we've been winning, we ain't been kicking ass since pretty much none this year. Even the games we won, we've been fighting through damn near every game. And these last 5 games where we lost like 4 of them, those been shit shows for our offense and defense.
Mm-hmm. I looked at this mock draft, and they have the Arizona Cardinals still picking Marvin Harrison. That was 4 days ago. So I guess this Washington lost. So would that move Washington in second? I don't know their record offhand.
Well, with the Cowboys, it's the whole NFL structure for how draft picks are secured is very convoluted and just confusing as all hell. So with the Cowboys winning last night, the Patriots, based off their strength of schedule, jumped Washington for the number 3 spot. And I don't think the Patriots won today. I know they kept it kind of close in Buffalo, but so with Arizona winning, that'd make New England number 2, Washington number 3, and Arizona number 4.
Oh, yeah. Well, they have Washington getting Drake May, so they're getting a quarterback. And they have New England. They have New England also getting a quarterback, Jaden Daniels. So Marvin Harrison still might be there at number 5 if this is what they, selecting. Because New England doesn't have a quarterback.
No.
Washington quarterback isn't bad, but like, hey, look, if you can get
a quarterback,
I don't think so either, because he's not. Sam Howell isn't bad.
He put up big numbers this year. You know what I mean?
Right. That's your opposition right there, the Redskins, because I think the Redskins might go after Marvin Harrison Jr. Why not? If Sam Howell is putting up good numbers, why not have a top wide receiver on a team?
I see. I have that argument for Chicago, who's picking number 1. Justin Fields won again today. Mm-hmm. I think that's their 6th or 7th win on the season. He had a couple incredible plays and a couple decent throws down the field that were completed. And you just got that Ohio State connection where you don't really need a quarterback. I like Justin Fields, but if you could put him and Marvin Harrison Jr. together, man, that could be really dangerous for Chicago.
Right, they have the Bears selecting Caleb Williams. I can't see them drafting another quarterback.
I can.
You do?
A
Why?
lot of
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
agree with Phil. Yeah.
Why?
I don't think I don't
they
I don't I don't
plug.
I don't think they believe in Fields.
Mm-hmm.
I keep seeing these trade proposal things. It's not real, but I guess it's like, media spins on, how they like to spin stuff,
Oh,
and they always
yeah.
come about trade proposal with Fields being shipped off somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Well, damn, where?
I mean, it's going to be a crazy offseason.
Right, because I can't see a team that would need a quarterback like that.
If you're Washington, do you take a chance?
No.
It's a young quarterback with a year to prove it. Minnesota, would you do that? Atlanta, Denver. Could Washington be a spot for Russell Wilson? I mean, there's going to be a lot of people moving around. And Washington has a new ownership too. I mean, the ownership that you guys know really well with the Sixers.
Right.
So I'm sure he wants to come in and make a splash with a new coach, new quarterback, probably a new GM. This offseason can go a lot of different directions.
Yeah, it could. Yeah. Well, real quick on some NBA talk, I have a question for you, Mr. Ryan.
Yes, sir.
Now you have Bobo, the center of the Phoenix Suns, played. They signed Bobo after he was waived by the Orlando Magic. He only played 12 games so far this season, and December the 27th, I think that was Wednesday, he played 1 minute.
Right.
Now the question is, why is he only playing 12 games? And when you signed him, and number two, why would you put him in for a minute?
The 1 minute must have been at the end of a blowout, or where you're just saying throwing the white flag and hey, we're done. The bowl experience has been, to put it in like light terms, a complete disaster. He goes out there and he is just lost.
Mhm.
And you could just see, I mean, he's just young. The basketball IQ's not there, and on a team full of veterans, it's just not really meshing well. And this just seems like it's been turned into more of a just massive project that, yeah, he's 7'2", 7'3", but the basketball IQ is just not there.
Mm-hmm. Now, wouldn't they know about his IQ when they signed him?
You would think. I mean, he was signed to a minimum contract, so he knows he's going to be at the end of the bench.
Right.
And it's been. I mean, the situation here in Phoenix with the Suns, it's been pretty messy through the first 34 games I think they've played, or 35 games. So it's taken them a while. We're January pretty much now, and they're still trying to figure out rotations. They just got Bradley Beal back. Beal, Durant, Booker have only played like 2.5 games together. So this is going to be a fluid situation moving forward, I think, for another 20-25 games or so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, by looking at the roster, you have a good roster here, but they was 4-6 in the last 10 games.
It has not been good. I mean, this injuries have just crushed them. You have Beal missing most of the season. Durant's missed games here or there. Beal comes back, then Booker gets hurt. Booker comes back, then Durant's down. Durant comes back, then Beal's hurt again. Problems just keep popping up everywhere. And so it seems like they finally have kind of reached this point to where tonight will be the first time that they've had all top 8 of their rotation players available at once. And that's been the biggest issue, is injuries. Injuries have just crushed them.
Right. And Philip, for your Sixers here, they Embiid hasn't played in what, 3 games?
First of all, let's get it straight. Don't say my Sixers. You can say our hometown Sixers.
Go ahead. How many 3 games, right? He hasn't played.
Yeah, something like that.
And the Sixers is 7-3.
Embiid is full of shit. He's always acting like he hurt.
And they've been winning, but they lost yesterday. But they've been winning without Embiid. So does this prove our point?
Continuity. continuity. I mean, that's where I see it.
Mhm.
And now that's what I would say is in the hot seat. Let us go out in the second round and get in the playoffs. It's time to move on. It's time
From
to
Embiid?
trade him. Yeah, it's time to
Yeah.
trade him and see what we can get for him.
Trade him while he has a good value and build around Maxi.
The dude is averaging 30 points, I think 32 last year, now 33 this year. But when the playoffs
Wow.
roll around, it drops down to 22.
Oh, the defense
Like
definitely.
he just
Yeah.
no, he disappears in playoffs. From I'm playing injured, I got the bubble guts, I got the flu. It's always something when the playoffs roll around. But in the regular season, he's fighting for MVP.
Right.
So I don't know.
That is interesting.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We said it before. If you can get a value means a good player and some draft picks and build around Maxi. Because Maxi is your future.
Yeah.
I just wonder who has that arsenal to kind of complete a major trade like that. Because
Yeah.
I want to go to LA or I want to go to top New York or a top market that doesn't have the assets to offer it. I just wonder who would pony up 4 first-round draft picks and 2 quality young players that you could build around.
Yeah, that's a tough one there too. Who can you get? Well, the only positive side about the Sixers next year, they have they're very low on the salary cap because we getting rid of Tobias' contract. So they should have an opportunity to get a big name in here. I don't know who or what, but it should be a big name. Should be coming in next season.
You got to kind of, I mean, I would kind of understand like Embiid's frustration, maybe with the organization as well. You just see Giannis get Damian Lillard from Portland. You see Bradley Beal go to Phoenix. You got all these quality top tier players moving around, and here you are not doing it.
Because
No, they had
they
one.
tried. They tried
Yeah,
with Embiid.
they had two.
With
You had James Harden and you have Jimmy Butler. So they had that opportunity to have those big players in there.
And then I think Jimmy Butler just walked, right? They didn't make any attempt to re-sign him at all.
They lowballed him. They gave him a lowball contract.
Oh,
but
man.
they gave a bigger contract to Tobias. And once that was done, it was a wrap.
Oh, gosh, that's brutal. Even the James
Yeah.
Harden, I can't believe James Harden keeps getting these opportunities in the league. I'm an ASU guy. I like James Harden from his days out at Arizona State. But man, to see what he has done to Houston and Brooklyn and Philadelphia, I just cannot believe he just keeps getting these opportunities. But hey, I mean, he's making me eat my words because LA is playing really well right now.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Well, he got game when he want. When he want to play and play hard, he can shoot the ball. He can get assists like no other, and he's still a real good 3-point and free throw shooter. So he got game still left in him. It's just that he's lazy when he want to play. You know what I mean? As long as he's happy, you don't get him happy, then you're in trouble.
And his happiness is the biggest wild card, unfortunately.
Going back to NFL real quick, a question for both of you. Are the Miami Dolphins contenders or pretenders?
Man, did you just see that score pop up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Shit, they're in the same boat as us. A great record, you would think they'd be contenders, but not really.
No, I think they might be worse because they only beat Dallas. And I'm thinking about another team, but they only beat like 2 or 3 teams with a winning record this season. I can't remember who.
But they run the ball, they pass the ball. So their offense is the problem, is their defense is the problem.
Right.
Their defense is just as bad as ours, if not worse. And that's what it comes down to. If you can't stop nobody, you ain't getting far in the playoffs.
Let's see.
There you go. Yeah. Do you watch Hard Knocks with the Miami Dolphins?
I haven't yet.
Mm-hmm.
Just seeing my general sense from like a team that plays in a warm city, it looks like them going up to Baltimore. They were none too interested in playing in a cold weather market.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that changes once the playoffs come and they have to go make a trip to maybe Buffalo or Baltimore again. But yeah, I have tried getting into Hard Knocks. I just can't keep myself like going with it for some reason. I don't know why.
but y'all have to see how the coach talks and acts. And
I've seen clips here and there.
now,
And
do you laugh when you hear him talk?
I just can't believe that like gravitates within a locker room. I it is just shocking. I'd like to kind of consider myself kind of like an old soul, old school, tough mentality, and just to see like this laissez-faire attitude, which I
Yes,
mean, I guess excels in this day and age with these athletes that we were kind of referring to across different sports. It's
yes.
just shocking how that just can be accepted. I mean, they're a good team, so I guess it works for them.
Yeah. Well, you can already tell that he's a real big analytics guy and a percentage guy, and I guess that's what the players like. Nick Sirianni strikes me as like that big analytics guy and the percentage. If you do this, that this is 40%. You know, it will work or
Oh
whatever
yeah,
that type of thing.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Apple doesn't.
Nick,
Apple.
Nick,
Oh,
Nick,
sorry, Phil.
I was just gonna say Nick Sirianni. You can't really say that because he passed the buck to his coordinator, so now he can say I'm not calling the plays. So he can fire his offensive coordinator, which is
True.
bullshit.
Well, I was going to say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree because Jonathan Gannon is very heavily analytical.
Hmm. Yeah, and that's the problem. I think that's what the problem with the league is as a whole, how the way they play.
Well, it's the new age young coaches. That's what they go for.
Right, right.
Well, and it's funny that you're kind of bringing this up because I know Tom Brady in one of his interviews a few weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, he is blasting the level of competition on the fields right now.
Right.
It is sometimes it is hard to watch. It's like, man, these guys are just not either coached up or motivated or both, and it's a lot different from 10 years ago.
Well,
Well,
it's certain situations that you do the basic what you do in those situations, but now these coaches today and coordinators are going against the grain. Just like
Right,
when we had you at the 4 yard line, why are you blitzing right there when you know they're going to pass it?
right.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
and
That was stupid.
right. Oh, it's that and the whole onside kick too. I mean, hindsight, it might have been a blessing in disguise because then you saved a bunch of time by having Philadelphia start at the 40, 45-yard line. But even, I mean, you're
Yeah,
three
that
and
was
12.
yeah.
Why not take it? Why not take a chance? Try to catch them off guard. But it's those kind of analytics like that.
hmm. Yep. Sorry, Mr. Ryan. Thank you for joining us. And what's your social media?
My Twitter is at rgutie7, RGUTIE7, and that's where I'm the most active. And I know you've been hunting me down for podcasts. Me and my buddies are starting to gather things up, and we are looking at maybe an early start in 2024 of getting something going.
Uh-oh. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
We'll probably have you on. Matter of fact, probably around, if you said early, I guess probably around towards the NBA playoffs. Maybe we
Okay.
can do a joint podcast together.
Oh, that'd be great. I love hearing from you guys, man. So that'd be awesome.
Yeah. So you can reach us on Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok, and subscribe to our YouTube at pnljudgementals, Instagram at the_judgementals, or you can email us at pnljudgementals@gmail.com. All right, Ryan, thanks for joining us.
All right. Thank you, boys. I hope you guys are doing well. Happy New Year to you and your families, guys, and be safe
Thanks,
out there.
Ryan. Happy
All
New
right.
Year's between yours.
Yeah, you
Thank
too.
you.
All right.